Good evening. I'm Assistant Chief Charlie Minch, the Commanding Officer of Patrol Bureau, Brooklyn South. I'm joined here by Deputy Inspector Paul Muggio, Executive Officer of the Force Investigation Division, and Deputy Inspector Billy Morales, the Commanding Officer of the 7-8 Precincts. I'm here to provide an update regarding an officer-involved shooting that occurred earlier this evening at Methodist Hospital within the confines of the 7-8 Precinct. This incident demonstrates the incredibly dangerous situations that our officers encounter every single day. The information I'm about to provide is preliminary and subject to change. At approximately 5:27 p.m. this evening, multiple 911 calls came over for a violent male armed with a knife inside of Methodist Hospital. The call stated that he had barricaded himself inside a room with other people and had cut himself and was trying to cut other people. According to hospital staff, the subject had also threatened to kill them. Officers arrived at Methodist Hospital at about 5:33 p.m. and responded to the 8th floor, where they were met by a group of doctors, nurses, and hospital security who said there was a man barricaded with a knife. When they got to the room, they saw blood all over the walls, floor, and splattered across the exterior of the door. The subject came into the door frame and displayed the bloody weapon. For more than 3 minutes, the officers stood outside the door and issued dozens of verbal commands to the subject to drop the weapon. The subject refused to drop the weapon and forcefully tried to close the door to the room multiple times. Officers tried to open the door multiple times because there were 2 additional people that the subject had trapped in the room, an elderly patient and a member of the hospital security staff who he threatened to kill. The subject stepped towards the officers with the weapon in his hands, and they simultaneously deployed a taser and discharged a firearm. The taser was ineffective, and the subject then continued to try to close the door with the 2 individuals still inside. For the next 4 minutes, officers again tried to kick the door open and issued many verbal commands to the subject to drop the weapon. The subject then advanced towards the officers again, still with the weapon in his hand. Officers again deployed tasers, but those deployments were not effective. Officers then discharged their weapons, and the subject was struck. He was pronounced deceased a short time later. The weapon was recovered at the scene. This entire incident was depicted on body-worn camera footage. This situation could have turned out very differently. An individual threatened to kill hospital staff, barricaded himself inside of a room with an elderly patient and a member of hospital security with a weapon. Every day our officers put on their uniforms. They never know what kind of dangerous situation they are going to encounter. That is the risk that every member of the NYPD faces every single day to keep this city safe. I'll now take a few questions.
All right, folks, we're going to do on-topic questions about this incident. So NBC, please.
Look at a picture of the weapon here. Is this a self-made weapon, or is this a knife? What exactly is it?
That is still under investigation, and our Force Investigations Division will investigate that.
Joe?
Chief, was there any relationship between the perpetrator and the individual whom he barricaded himself with? Or?
At this time, we do not believe so.
Any idea on how he got the weapon, and also how long he was a patient here at the hospital?
He was a patient. From what we know, he was admitted yesterday, and we do not know at this time how he got the weapon.
And his condition, again?
That is up to you. You have to speak to the hospital staff about that.
Do one more question over here. This gentleman in the back.
Any indication that he was suffering from an emotional EDP?
That is still all a part of FID's investigation.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
Obviously, the firearm
We're
was
going to wrap over
discharged.
here.
Do we know if
We're going to wrap over here.
anybody else
If there's any follow-up questions, we can follow up with you.
He's deceased, yeah?
Correct.
is deceased?